You are listening to Huddling with the Herd on KYNT, a weekly recap of Yankton High School athletics. Huddling with the Herd is brought to you in part by Mount Marty University, At the Bar, FNBO, Avera, Parker Hannafin, Olson's Pest Technicians, Farmers Union Insurance, SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab, Rhonda Westland State Farm Insurance, Vision Care Associates, Explorers Credit Union, Slowy Management, Mason Schramm and the Move Group, MT&RC Smith Insurance, Triple Time Rudy's, Vision Real Estate, First Dakota National Bank, Yankton Medical Clinic, The UPS Store, Hy-Vee, First Chiropractic Centers, Pizza Ranch, and Missouri River Associates. Now, broadcasting live from KYNT Studios, it's Huddling with the Herd with KYNT Sports Director Brayden Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from KYNT Studios in Yankton, South Dakota. It's Huddling with the Herd, your weekly recap of Yankton Bucks and Gazelles athletics. And it's been a fun week here for Yankton athletics, especially on the hockey side of things. I've been debating basically all morning since I woke up. Do I want to start with Yankton Bucks hockey today and their state tournament run, or do I want that to be kind of the closer, the clincher at the end of the show? I'm going to start with Yankton Bucks hockey today. That's going to be after our first break, after I kind of give you a rundown of what we're going to talk about today. But Yankton Bucks hockey will be our first sport talked about today because they are on quite a run. They're in the state championship this evening, excuse me. I'm leaving town this afternoon to go up to Sioux Falls, but that game is this evening. We'll talk more not only about the state championship game tonight for the Yankton Bucks against Rushmore, but also their 2 wins so far in the state tournament. We're also talking about the opening day for spring sports that's already here. The closest one is March 17th, so that's next week. Spring sports already here on KYNT and KYNTV. We'll also hear about Yankton Bucks basketball, get an end-of-season wrap-up from head coach Chris Haynes here on the show today, and we're going to talk Yankton Gazelles wrestling. Very similar to last week when I talked to Coach Robert Coyle and Edley Amaro about Edley's state championship at 215 and then the season as a whole with Coach Coyle. Very similar today, but different dynamic between coach and wrestler, as Jason and Winry Yegi were both in here earlier this week to talk to me for today's Huddling with the Herd. Winry, obviously second place at 145 as a freshman after a fourth place finish as an 8th grader. Her future is very, very bright on the mat. And with Jason Yegi, new head coach for the Yankton Gazelles wrestling program, first year with a dedicated girls wrestling coach at Yankton High School, and I think the Gazelles did very well. Gazelles basketball as well, we'll just mention how their season ended last week in the Sodak 16. Head coach Blake Savvy is up. I believe he's at the state tournament right now, just scouting, networking, things like that. But I believe I'm going to have him in here either over the phone or online or live next week to really put a bow on Gazelles basketball. But that's your rundown for today here on Huddling with the Herd. Like I said, we're starting with Yankton Bucks hockey when we come back. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYNTV.
Looking for the perfect pair of glasses? At Vision Care Associates, we've got you covered. Step into our showroom and discover our vast selection from timeless classics to the latest trends. With several styles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect match for your look. Experience personalized service and expert care, whether you need help finding the right frame or adjusting your new glasses for the perfect fit.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
What if your next big adventure isn't somewhere out there, but already waiting for you at home? That kitchen remodel, a new addition, or that dream family getaway? Your home's equity can fuel it all. With a fixed-rate home equity loan from Explorers Credit Union, turn what you've built into where you're going next. Explorers Credit Union, we believe in helping you launch your next big adventure. Call 800-491-4309 and speak with a loan officer today. Explorers Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
At Mount Marty University, students get real support and real opportunities.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm a business major at Mount Marty University. The professors here at Mount Marty are just amazing. They're very good about supporting me through future internships and jobs that they try and line me up with, and they also provide real life experiences in the classroom through projects and speakers and things like that.
Start your journey online at mountmarty.edu. At the Bar is the bar for sports fans. With coverage of NFL, college basketball favorites, Yankton High School action, and NHL hockey too. Open 7 days a week. Bring in your crew, grab a table, and take in all the action surrounded by fans who love the game as much as you do. The energy's better, the company's great, and the beverages are cold, just the way game day should be. You can watch the game anywhere, but real fans gather at the Bar in downtown Yankton.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
It's time to stop making excuses. The peace of mind you get after a colonoscopy is worth it. It's the best way to prevent and detect one of the deadliest cancers. In fact, your doctor can remove precancerous polyps during the procedure if necessary. That's right, before it even turns to cancer. No excuses. Get a colonoscopy at 45 and follow up every 10 years or as recommended by your doctor. Find a location or schedule now at avera.org/colon.
Imagine paid vacation, sick leave, holidays, and full medical coverage the moment you start a new job. Plus quarterly profit sharing, 5% 401k match, and a company-paid retirement plan. Your first day on the job. With Parker of Yankton, you don't have to imagine, because all these benefits begin day one. We are hiring assemblers, material handlers, and line operation techs for both shifts. Don't mind working nights? Enjoy a pay differential of $235. If you're looking to upgrade your career and have day one benefits, apply today at parker.com.
Parker, engineering your success.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV, streaming live online, or if you're listening, 102.1 FM, AM 1450. We're talking Yankton Bucks hockey to start things off this morning. It's been a fun state tournament run so far. It comes to an end today. Yankton competing for a state championship this evening against the Rushmore Thunder, the undefeated, now 24-0 Rushmore Thunder, but had a bit of a close game last night with the Brookings Rangers. It was 4-3 late on in that one, but an empty net goal pushed Rushmore out top, 5-3 final in that one. But let's take a look at the state tournament run so far for the Bucks. It started on Thursday, a 6-3 win over Owyhee in the state quarterfinals, and that one was a little dicey there for the Bucks. I'll admit, on the broadcast with Dave Spencer, you can go back and watch that game on our KYN-TV YouTube page or our KYN-TV app. If you prefer, however you prefer to view our games on KYN-TV. Yankton fell behind 3-0 early in that game. They were able to battle back. Rylan Murphy, a big part of that. He had a hat trick and an assist, so 4 points total with 3 goals and an assist. Brayden Birkeland gets a goal and an assist for 2 points. Tucker Rankin and Caden Hunoff each had 2 assists in the win with 2 points each. Dawson Thomas and Jack Pedersen each having a goal, and Easton Anderson and Easton Velick each having an assist. Luke Moeller made 29 saves in net. He stopped 29 of the 32 shots he faced. And last night's game, an 8-2 win over the Aberdeen Cougars. Tucker Rankin, 5 points in the win. He was setting up his teammates all night long. 1 goal and 4 assists for him. Brayden Birkeland does a little daily double, 2 goals, 2 assists for him for 4 points. Rylan Murphy gets another goal, his 4th of the tournament, adds on 2 assists for 3 points. Kylan O'Connor, 2 points, both on goals. Jack Pedersen, 1 goal and 1 assist for 2 points. And then a plethora of guys with just 1 assist. Isaac Demmer, Cooper Larson, Dawson Toms, and Caden Hunoff all grabbed an assist. Cade Schramm had a goal. Luke Moeller made 31 saves on the 33 shots he faced. Obviously, it ended up being an 8-3 win, Forgot about a late goal. Substituted goalie out. Garrett Haas got in net, made a couple plays, but 1 goal did get past him late on in that one. It was an 8-3 final score, not 8-2 over Aberdeen. Yankton will play the top-seeded Rushmore today in the state championship, but we do have your post-game interview from last night's game between Yankton and Aberdeen. An assistant coach for the Yankton Bucks, Alex Kopp, was able to come up and talk to me in the post-game about a great performance front to back, everybody doing their part for the Yankton Bucks. So let's play that interview now here on KYNT and KYN-TV for Huddling with the Herd. We bring in assistant coach Alex Kopp of the Yankton Bucks, the victorious Yankton Bucks. 8-3, the final score. And I want to start things off with a position I know you know a lot about, and that's your goaltender. Luke Moeller currently being honored. He was chosen as the SDAHA player of the game, and he's going to get some honors in our post game too. But 31 saves tonight for him, another fantastic performance in net.
Yeah, I mean, Luke's been our backbone all year. I mean, he's a senior. He wants to go out on a high note. Hey, we've been talking about, they're making history this year, and they just keep writing that history book longer and longer with each game we make.
Last year was the first ever state tournament appearance at the varsity level for the Yankton Bucks. This year, the first ever state championship appearance. I know you're a fresher face to this program as an assistant coach, but what's that mean to you to see the growth of this program?
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I know how much it means to these guys, and everybody's bought in. They don't care who scores the goal. They don't care who makes the play. It's one team, one heart, and they're showing that these last two games.
Couple plays I want to talk about here. The passing, especially for about the I want to say 13-minute mark of the second period through the end of the game, really looked crisp for you guys. I know that Tucker Rankin backhand pass to Berklin that he put away was awesome. Brayden Berklin also just getting fancy with the stick work quite often tonight. Your guys were just out there having fun, playing for and with each other, and it looked like they wouldn't rather be anywhere else than this rink of ice right now.
Yeah, I mean, when they're passing like that, like you mentioned, when they're playing loose, they're a tough team to beat. I mean, they just went out there, they did what they've been doing all year, and it showed on the scoreboard.
Similar to yesterday, very different circumstance, but the timeout gets called down on the bench. You guys taking time to talk to your team. Today it felt more along the lines of let's relax a little bit. Things were getting a little chippy out there, maybe a little extracurricular. So what was that conversation like down in the huddle?
Yeah, I mean, outside of a miracle, I think everyone in the building knew the game was over at that point and got a little chippy. We wanted to keep guys eligible for tomorrow's championship appearance because we need everybody on that bench.
What's the game plan for tonight's game? Are you guys sticking around to do some scouting on Brookings against Rushmore and kind of see where you're going to be tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to know who we're going to play tomorrow, so I think fellas are going to shower up, come back, see who we got for the 7 o'clock game tomorrow, and, just be ready to go. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who we're playing.
And then what are some things that you feel that, no matter if you're playing Brookings or Rushmore, what's some things that you guys really need to execute on if you want to come out with a state championship tomorrow night?
I mean, turnovers. We saw it with the first goal there right for Aberdeen tonight. I mean, we can't turn the puck over. It just helps other teams when they capitalize. And we just got to shoot the puck. I mean, we have good shots on this team, a lot of good shots. Everyone has danger to put the puck in the net. We just got to be able to get to the net and throw those pucks on net.
Well, Coach, thanks for taking time to come up and talk to us here for your post-game coach interview. Congratulations to you, and I know Coach Pedersen, Coach Rankin, and the entire staff. You guys are doing a great job with this Yankton Bucks squad. I know Dave brought it up on the broadcast. It's nice seeing you back down here on the bench helping out with this, and the guys really seem to respond to you and the coaching staff. So it's a lot of fun to watch this hockey team.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out, and let's get it done. One more job not finished. One more game.
That was assistant coach Alex Goff of the Yankton Bucks hockey program talking to us for last night's post-game after the Bucks' 8-3 win over the Aberdeen Cougars. We're going to go to break in a couple moments, but just a reminder, tonight, state championship puck drop at 7 p.m. from the Shields Iceplex in Sioux Falls. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. here on KYNT, also streaming live on KYN TV. That's on YouTube, Facebook, and online at kyntv.com. We also have a mobile app and an app on Roku and Apple TV devices. So we're everywhere for KYN TV. However you prefer to listen to us, we will have you covered. You're listening to Huddling with the Herd right now, though, presented by Explorers Credit Union, proudly serving Southeast South Dakota and Northeast Nebraska. Discover the difference with them at explorerscu.com. We're going to go back to break. When we come back, we're going to put a bow on Yankton Bucks basketball. Had a extensive conversation with head coach Chris Haynes earlier this week over the Pizza Ranch phone line. So we're going to talk about Bucks basketball and wrap their season up when we return. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN-TV.
Do you have a pest problem? Bed bugs, bats in the attic, termite damage, earwigs? Olson's Pest Technicians can tackle any of your pest problems. Family owned and operated with over 80 years of pest experience in South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. Proven pest methods include Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatments for bed bugs. Even the toughest pest infestations don't stand a chance. Olson's Pest Technicians, putting pests to rest since 1966. Call 800-KIL-BUGS.
Tip-off is here and the season's heating up. Whether it's your home, farm, or everyday life, Farmers Union Insurance help you defend against the unexpected and score big on protection. Brendan Hansen and Brandon Tykero at Suite 101B, Morgan Square in Yankton help you rebound from surprises, make every play count, and keep your game strong all season long. Don't let life slam dunk you. Stop by today and stay covered with Farmers Union Insurance.
If you've been suffering from chronic pain or a recent injury,
check us out, Lane, Reed, and Cole Sawatsky at SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab.
We offer a wide variety of treatments and techniques, including dry needling, cupping, chiropractic adjustments, and sports rehabilitation.
Our mission is to ensure an individualized and efficient treatment plan to get you back on your feet.
From ankle sprains and sports injuries to neck pain and headaches, we've got your back.
Give us a call or book an appointment on our website. SWAT Chiropractic, specialized wellness and therapy.
Located on Summit Street across from the high school.
When you make the right decision, it feels good. Like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision too. That's why State Farm agent Rhonda Westland is right here in Yankton to help you select the right protection at the right price. Rhonda will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Rhonda Westland, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call her. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Do you struggle with dry contacts? At Vision Care Associates, we have a great option. Infused contact lenses by Bosch & Lomb. Infused lenses are designed to ensure that your eyes stay hydrated and irritation-free, even after a full day of wear. Our doctors specialize in fitting these lenses for maximum comfort and optimal vision. Schedule your consultation and experience the all-day comfort and crisp, clear vision you deserve.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
What if your next big adventure isn't out there on the road? What if it's already waiting right at home? That kitchen you've been dreaming of, extra room to grow, or the family trip you've pictured long ago. Your home's equity can fuel it all. When your plans become a must, Explorers Credit Union. Built steady, built for us. Insured by NCUA. Call 800-491-4309 and put your equity to work for you today.
Traveling to Yankton for business or pleasure in 2026? Then book your stay at Yankton's two finest hotels, the Fairfield by Marriott and the Holiday Inn Express. Both are conveniently located to everything in Yankton. Both offer a complimentary hot breakfast and meeting rooms for business travelers. And if you want a great rate and flexible reservation changes, call either hotel direct, the Fairfield by Marriott and the Holiday Inn Express. Two great hotel choices when visiting or arranging rooms for guests to Yankton.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Once again, Yankton Bucks hockey tonight right here on KYNT and on KYN-TV. 6:30 p.m. pregame, 7 p.m. puck drop for the state championship against the Rushmore Thunder. That should be a good one. Now let's talk about Yankton Bucks basketball. Their season unfortunately came to an end last Saturday in the Sodak 16. It fell to Harrisburg 69-59. Jackson Kudera led the way, the sophomore in his final game of his sophomore season, 27 points and 4 rebounds. Owen Eidsness, the senior, 13 points, 5 steals, 3 rebounds, and a couple assists. And Abel Bryan, 10 points, 4 boards, and 2 assists. I got a chance to speak with head coach Chris Haynes earlier this week. I believe it was Wednesday morning over the phone, the Pizza Ranch phone line here. We're going to talk to head coach Chris Haynes about his season and the future and what that might hold. It was a very fun season, despite a rough start, 1-10 start to the year for Yankton, but the Bucks were really able to battle back. They finished the season 8-13, and even though the turning point seemed to be, if you just look at the schedule, the game against Pierre early February, which was Yankton's second win of the season, they then rattle off 7 wins in their last 9 regular season games. But it felt like middle of January is when Yankton really started to turn the corner. Had a couple close games that, a couple more bounces the other way. We're talking about an above 500 team for the Yankton Bucks. So don't just take my word for it, though. Head coach Chris Haynes brings that up in our interview here. We're going to go to that now here on Huddling with the Herd. It's head coach Chris Haynes of Yankton Bucks. Brayden Butler here for Huddling with the Herd. Joining me right now over the Pizza Ranch phone line is the head coach of the Yankton Bucks basketball team, Chris Haynes. Coach Haynes, the season comes to an end last weekend against Harrisburg in the Sodak 16. That was a pretty fun game. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there for it, but tell Tanner covering it for us, doing a great job as always. And you guys led quite the late comeback there in that game, ended up falling just short in the end. But kind of talk about last Saturday's matchup with Harrisburg for people who were unfortunately unable to catch the game.
Yeah, well, we had a great crowd there. I think we had just as many, if not more people than they did. So just really appreciate the support, student section, and just overall, all fans in general. So it was great that people could make the trip up and support us. I thought we got off to a great start. First quarter was, had the game kind of right where we wanted it. More of a defensive game and a little bit lower scoring. We were able to get some stops and some rebounds and control the tempo of the game. Unfortunately, the second quarter started going the other way on us. Harrisburg is super talented and super athletic. They got so many weapons. They got two, maybe three all-conference, all-state type players on their team, but what really makes them hard to guard is they got 9 guys that on any given day they can go out and get 15, 20 points. And second quarter, they got it rolling a little bit. We got in a little bit of foul trouble. And like I said, they got it rolling a little bit. And they're such a tough team once they get some momentum going, especially in their gym. They're really hard to stop. And they had a big second quarter. They hit a 3 right before half that I thought was a really big play in the game. The game was still at 5 points, even though you had a bad quarter. We weathered some foul trouble. And then they hit about a deep 3 right before half to go up 8. And it just seemed like, that was a big play in the game. Came out in third quarter. And, still Harrisburg had the momentum and couldn't quite get that turned. And they had another big quarter. So the middle 2 quarters really struggled for us. But give our guys a ton of credit. In the fourth quarter, they made a valiant comeback and, got the game down to a 2-possession game. We were down 4 with 2 minutes to go. And, it looked like maybe we had a chance. Then we fouled on that possession and they made some free throws. And, that was as close as we could come.
That feels like the story of the game against Harrisburg kind of reflects the story of the season. I know well, maybe not because it was a great start, obviously, against Harrisburg, but a rough start to the season, but a late rally for you guys. And even it felt like the turn of the calendar to 2026 was really your guys' turning point, even though the wins didn't start stacking up until February, because it felt like middle of January, you get through to the end of the season, you guys were playing some of your best basketball.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I didn't think we played very well before Christmas or even first couple weeks in January overall. And then we get to the middle of January, I think games like Watertown, Huron, O'Gorman, Brandon, Sioux Falls, Jefferson, we had 5 games in a row there where we really, played good basketball. We just couldn't get a win. And, that's not easy to handle as a team. And, our guys, you could tell were a little dejected and down a little bit, but we were playing better basketball. And, I have to give our 3 seniors a ton of credit, Beck, Owen, and Abe. They kept battling and kept having great attitudes and showing great leadership in practice and every day, knowing that, hey, even though, we lost some close ones here, we're trending in the right direction. And we started showing signs of being a good basketball team. And then, the month of February came and we finished the season 7-3 in our last 10 games. And our 3 losses were at Sioux Falls Roosevelt in a game where, we led at halftime and, had a chance late in that game at their place. And then at Sioux Falls Christian, who, one of the best teams in the state, if not the most talented team. And, we had a chance to win that basketball game as well and end up losing by 3 points at their place. And then obviously, you lose the last one at Harrisburg to, a team that went 15-5 and, have 16 wins on their resume now. So I felt like at the end of the year, we were playing like a state tournament team. It's just, disappointing and that we weren't able to get that win in the Sodak 16 game and continue our season into the state tournament. And, anytime you don't make it into the state tournament, it's not a good feeling. And, you feel for your team and obviously our seniors. But, again, not could never fault our guys and their effort that they gave throughout the season. They battled all year long, and again, I think you have to give our 3 seniors a lot of credit for the leadership that they showed throughout the season.
I know you mentioned it right at the end there and a couple of times throughout already, but 3 seniors, Owen Eidsness, Abe O'Brien, and Beck Reichen. I think all 3 of those guys are also in spring athletics, so their athletic careers aren't done at Yankton High School. But what are some things with them that you've been most proud of on the floor or off the floor as they start to step into their next phase?
Yeah, they're great kids, and I think they've definitely showed their character throughout this season. And, in the Harrisburg game, you could see that too, that they just kind of have a never give up, never die attitude. And I think, like I said, it says a lot about their character and the families that they come from. And, appreciate and grateful for everything that they've done for our program and the work that they put in. And, they gave us a chance to, with their attitudes and with their effort, they gave us a chance to have the February that we did have, and give us a chance in that game to make it to the state tournament. And at the end of the day, that's what you want to ask for your seniors every year.
Looking ahead to the future for Yankton Bucks basketball, I know a lot of attention is going to be put on Jackson Cooter after his stellar sophomore season as he becomes a junior, but you have a very good junior class as well that will step into those senior leadership roles. So looking ahead, what are your expectations and goals for next year and beyond for the Bucks?
Yeah, Jackson had a great season and really turned it on, here, and was really playing well down the stretch for us. And obviously he can score the basketball, and that scoring ability really helped us to win some of those games down the stretch. And, when you look at all conference, I don't think people sometimes realize just how hard it can be to get all conference. I mean, we have 10 teams in our conference now that we've added, Brandon Valley a while ago, and then Harrisburg, and now T. And so not to mention all the other traditional ESD schools. So we have 10 teams, only 10 players make it. When you look at the list, there was 7 seniors that were on the all-conference list. There was 3 juniors, and then Jackson was honorable mention, the only honorable mention. You have to get so many votes even to get honorable mention. And so obviously as a sophomore, that's quite the feat for him. And I think all the work that he's put in he's just seeing starting to pay off. And I know Jackson would be the first one to tell you that, he couldn't do that or get that recognition without his teammates. And, a lot of times those are more team awards than individual awards even. And so, and then like you said, we got some juniors that have some experience and have played varsity basketball for a year, and a couple of them even for multiple years. So look at them as, going to be our seniors and our leaders coming forward for next year.
Well, Coach, thanks for taking time to talk today for Huddling with the Herd. Congratulations on a very fun season. Even, when the chips were down a little bit, it was a lot of fun to cover the team competing all year long. So thank you again for another fun year of Yankton Bucks basketball, and hoping for another good year next year.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Brayden.
That was head coach Chris Haynes of the Yankton Bucks here on KYNT and KYNTV. That coach interview over the Pizza Ranch phone line here on Huddling with the Herd. We're going to go back to break. When we come back, we're going to switch focus to Yankton Gazelles wrestling. We'll wrap everything up there. A state runner-up finish for Winry Yagi to lead the Gazelles, but 4 wrestlers did qualify for the state tournament back a couple weeks ago now. But get a good wrap-up interview with not only Winry on her runner-up finish, but head coach Jason Yagi as well. That's coming up in a couple minutes here on Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYNTV.
Buying a home isn't just about real estate. It's about investing in yourself. At the Move Group, we believe the best time to buy is when it makes sense for you. Our expert agents put people before transactions, meaning we listen first, provide honest guidance, and help you make a confident decision. No pressure, no gimmicks. Markets change, but the right home is about more than just numbers. It's about finding the right fit for your life and your future. When you're ready, we're here to help. Contact the Move Group today.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT and RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. Visit mtrcsmithinsurance.com.
There's a difference when a convenience store is locally owned, and you feel it the moment you stop at Triple Time Rudy's. You'll get great quality fuel to keep you on the move, plus local and regional favorites like Dimmick Cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner Lockers. It's the kind of place that's convenient and connected to your community. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway, Triple Time Rudy's, fueling your day, fueling your community.
Hi, I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate. If you're thinking of selling your home, let's start with a full market analysis so you can understand our local market trends and know what to expect. Let me handle the details so you can focus on your next adventure. When it's time to move, pack those Vision boxes and hook up to our courtesy trailer. Call me, Deb Speck, at 605-664-5555.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Small test, big protection. The general surgeons at Yankton Medical Clinic performed more than 1,900 colonoscopies last year, 1,900 steps towards a healthier community. Screening is simple, safe, and one of the most effective ways to prevent colon cancer. Most patients sleep comfortably through the entire procedure, which usually takes less than 30 minutes. Don't wait until symptoms appear. Call for an appointment today. Plus, the general surgeons are on call and see patients after hours and weekends. Learn more at yanktonmedicalclinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYNTV. It's time to talk about Yankton Gazelles Wrestling. Put a wrap up on that with an interview earlier this week with head coach Jason Yagi and Winry Yagi, who finished as runner-up at 145 in her freshman year. Let's go over the results from the state tournament from a few weeks ago before getting to that interview. Chloe Caton went at 115. Did go 0-2 at the tournament, but performed very well, fought hard in those matches. Alexis Brayden at 120 finished the tournament 1-2. She did win via pinfall round 1 before falling in round 2. The second loss was a forfeit loss due to, I believe, an injury. I did ask head coach Jason Yagi about it and did talk about that a little bit. In our interview, Jacqueline Kite, a similar story, lost her first match via pinfall, and then her second match ended via default. She was unable to finish the match. I think another injury there. Like I said, Coach Yagi will kind of explain how everything worked out at the state tournament in our interview coming up shortly. Winry Yagi at 145 went 3-1 at the state tournament, 2 wins via pinfall, 1 win via tech fall to finish as the runner-up at 145 pounds as a freshman. A 4th place finish as an 8th grader, a 2nd place finish as a freshman. I know her goals are to keep that trend going. And she talks about those goals not only for her high school career, but just as a wrestler in general. She's one of those wrestlers that kind of, it's a year-round thing for her, traveling to tournaments. She's really locked in on the mats, and it was a fun conversation to have with her and Coach Yagi earlier this week. So let's just get right into that interview now. It's Jason and Winry Yagi for Yankton Gazelles Wrestling. This is a bit of a longer interview, kind of getting background on both of them as well and just their stories. So strap in for this one. It should be a lot of fun. It was a great conversation earlier this week. This is head coach Jason Yagi of the Yankton Gazelles wrestling team and Winry Yagi of the Gazelles coming off her runner-up finish at 145 pounds at the state tournament. Brayden Butler here for Huddling with the Herd. We're talking Yankton Gazelles wrestling, and joining me for the first time this year is head coach Jason Yagi of the Yankton Gazelles. Coach, I'm glad to finally get you on here and talk to you. First of all, thanks for coming on. Second of all, we have Winry here as well, who state runner-up finished for her at the state tournament, and one of 4 of your wrestlers to make the state tournament. So first year as a dedicated Gazelles wrestling coach, I'd say it was pretty successful for you guys.
Yeah, not too bad. We did actually pretty good here at state, getting there. 4 girls. We got Chloe Caton down there at 115, and then Alexis Brayden at 120, and Jacqueline Kite at 130. And then obviously Winry Yagi at 145.
And obviously as well, what kind of, I know you helped out or were assistant or a part of the team as a coach in recent capacity, but what has it been the biggest change moving into like the dedicated role as the Gazelles head coach this year?
The dedicated role, I would have to say, is all the paperwork and everything that goes on behind the scenes. Setting all your track wrestling things up, getting your weigh-in sheets taken care of, and just making sure you contact the other coaches that you're going to be dueling against or tournaments you're going to, conversing with your administrative director, Ryan Moores, about different things going on. Just basically like the paperwork aspect of it, because when you're like an assistant, you just kind of get to do the fun part where you're just, practicing and helping the kids out and stuff. So when you're the head coach, there's a lot more, I mean, that's the best way to put it is just paperwork you got to do behind the scenes.
I'm glad you brought up track wrestling. It's been a lifesaver this year when I've been looking for your guys' results. And I always wondered if that was head coach's job or some assistant or somebody else that handles all that. But, big thank you for posting stuff on track wrestling so I can keep track of you guys this year. But looking at, obviously, the state tournament, you mentioned Chloe Caton, Alexis Brayden, Jacqueline Kite, and then, of course, Winry as well, as she's in here. We'll talk in just a moment. But Winry gets second. All your girls, performing well. A couple, I did see a forfeit and a default. I don't know if it was injury or what. I wasn't able to get more information on that, but kind of talk about the state tournament and how your girls did.
Yeah. First day went pretty good for most of the girls, and got to go ahead to get to the second day there and stuff. And then the second day, just fell short there a little bit with Chloe and stuff. But I mean, this is her second time going to state. This time she didn't place. Last year she did place. So I think she's just kind of finding out, like, as you start going up in the weight brackets, it starts getting a little more competitive. You're starting to find more of your girls that are in your higher grade level and stuff like that. So, she just fell a little bit short there and stuff. And then with Alexis, she got hurt, wasn't able to finish out the rest of the tournament, which was very disappointing due to the fact that she got first at Regions, and the girl that she did beat at Regions, she did take the championship and stuff. So she's really bummed about that. So, and then with Jacqueline, same thing there. She was doing really good for those first couple days and stuff, and then got injured and had to step out and stuff. So kind of disappointing in there because they weren't actually able to, complete it. But, you got to be careful with your injuries and stuff so they don't make them worse and everything.
I know I've talked about before on the show, Huddling with Her, and then also just giving wrestling updates while I'm on other broadcasts. It feels like girls wrestling in South Dakota is growing really, really quickly. It feels like there's more and more girls performing at a high level every single year. So is that something that you're seeing as a coach too, that more and more girls are taking an interest in wrestling?
Yes, that is for sure. Like, you're seeing a lot more of those younger girls that are actually starting to get up into the high school level and competing at the high school level. And then you're seeing more of the high school girls actually going out and doing more tournaments and just practices, camps, whatnot during the off season and stuff, and just trying to get better. So you're seeing a lot of that competition get, better and better. And it's just, it's not like we once, in the old days where it's really easy to go through the different brackets and get, like the higher tier with, because of just the numbers have just increased by so much now. And the competition has gotten so much better because of it. So it's really exciting to see that part of it. Like right now and stuff with our brackets actually being completed in full going into tournaments is really exciting, that's for sure.
And now that we kind of laid that groundwork at the lay of the land for Gazelles wrestling and wrestling as a whole, I want to turn attention a little bit to Winry. I know a runner-up finish at 145 this year as a freshman, fourth place finish as an eighth grader last year. So you're obviously improving and already competing at a very high level. First of all, just congratulations to you, Winry, and how was this season competing through your freshman year and ending up as a runner-up?
Competing this year was a bunch of progression. I met people that I lose to, that's disappointing, and I thought I could get and catch up to them. And one, I got close, but she ended up moving a weight class before I could actually see where I would end up with her in another match. So that was kind of disappointing for me. Coming up at second this year was, It was still exciting this year as a freshman to get up to the finals, but I really just wanted to take it and couldn't, which sucks. But in the end, I was still a state finalist, and I'm still working to improve, and I'm going off season, and I'm going nationally regardless. So even off of that second place medal, I'm still getting better, and I'm still looking to get better. So I'm hoping next year maybe I'll be on top, but it's just not how it worked out this year.
And I know off mic before we got started, we talked a little bit about your background. You've been wrestling for a long time. I believe you said you started in kindergarten, and so talk about your wrestling journey that's led up to the high school level.
So yeah, I started wrestling in kindergarten. This year is my 10th year wrestling, and I go all the way from that youth wrestling is really where I built a connection with wrestling. Just like with the coaches and the people in it, I had a community of my own to connect with, and that people were alike. And thankfully, I grew up in a town where girls in wrestling was more honored and glorified than just shut down and why are you doing this? And I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful that Yankton is one of those towns where they uplift women in male-dominated sports rather than push down and cut off and just, you shouldn't be doing this because whatever. And so that was a really great thing I had when growing up. Wrestling has always been here for me, regardless of what's happening at home with my parents, because they ended up separating, which was sad, rough patch. But again, I had wrestling to turn to. I had something to connect with other than just disassociate with what was happening. And I really started getting into wrestling my 6th grade year. Everything leading up to that was more of a, oh, it's cool being here. I like this. But then 6th grade year is where I locked it in. I'm like, I want to go somewhere with this. I want to do something with this. I want to go do something with my future in this. And so that's my 6th grade year. I locked it in. 7th grade year, I came up to the high school for the very first year. I performed pretty well, and I dislocated my elbow that year, very sad, against the 1 seed, and I was down by 1 point in that 3rd period. And I think about that match so much. But then I ended up coming back my 8th grade year. I went to state. I placed at state that 4th, and now we're here, freshman.
A couple things there. Just talk about one. I liked how you talk about wrestling as a bit of an escape and a place that you feel comfortable and love what wrestling has given you while you put in the work. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, whether it is if they're big wrestlers, if they're in another sport, or just something in general. So I feel like it's a very being a freshman and at a young age, it's a very mature way of thinking and way of approaching things. So it's very impressive there. And I also like how you brought up girls in wrestling, because when I was growing up, I did wrestle. Never at the level you have. I was never competing for state in any way, shape, or form. But we did have we had one girl on our wrestling team growing up. She was a year ahead of me, and I am not ashamed to admit that she would kick my rear end in practice, basically every single week. So girls wrestling in general, I know we talked about it with Coach Yagi, but I mean, growing year by year, especially it feels like in South Dakota. Talk a little bit about how you've connected with your teammates maybe as well on the wrestling team, because I know you got a pretty good group of girls over there for the Gazelle squad.
Yeah, so us girls on the wrestling team, during practice, we strive to have fun, and then off of that we improve, because if someone's in a bad mood, we lift them up, hey, let's get it going. Someone's slacking off, hey, let's go. We're having fun, but still, we still need to try. We still need to be here. And that's really where that connection forms with us. It's just it's just building on top of progression. And then that also builds our relationship, because even outside of season, we even get together, not even our coach doesn't have to set anything up for us to hang out. We'll just do it autonomously. And that's just because of wrestling. It's something that pulls you together, not apart. And it's weird because it's not even a team sport. It's an individual sport.
And I want to ask, I know it's another thing we talked about a little bit before going live here, but obviously having your dad as the head coach, and then I was going to ask how if that's different than how it's been, but you said he's been kind of in your corner coaching you basically your entire time.
Yeah, my dad's been here my entire life as my coach ever since I started. He's the reason why I am in wrestling. He's the reason why I've pulled through with wrestling. He's just been a constant, and even when Coyle was my head coach, he was still in my corner whenever he could. 8th grade year, he wasn't always able to get to my matches, but he'd always have someone record so then he could watch them. And then when I would go nationally and like have to travel places like hours away, he might not be able to get there, but he for sure is watching me on live and then texting me afterwards, calling me afterwards, and even coaching me after when on those calls or in those texts.
And then Coach Yagi, for you, how do you kind of balance that being coach speak, dad speak in some of these moments, or is it all just kind of blur together?
I'd say pretty much it all kind of blurs together. I mean, when you've had, what do you want to say, a wrestler for as many years as you have, they're pretty much your kid, whether they are your kid or not. Like some of those girls and stuff I've coached them since they were little too and stuff. And you have that connection with them, and it's just one of those that doesn't really break. And so you just always have kind of that understanding of each other, which is really cool. So it's a pretty fun experience, that is for sure.
I know Winry kind of spoke about where her passion for wrestling comes from. How did you get started in wrestling? Are you just a wrestler as a kid and have loved it through your whole life, or how'd that get started?
I grew up on a dairy farm right outside of Yankton here and stuff, and my parents really weren't into sports at all, but I always liked my favorite class, was PE. I love the competitiveness of any sport and just enjoyed, the activity of it. And when I got into high school, I had some friends in my PE class or whatever. They're like, hey, you should go out for wrestling and stuff. And so I talked to my parents about it. My dad wasn't too keen on it, but mom's like, you should probably just let him try one sport or whatever. It's winter time. You don't need him out on the farm that much and stuff. It'll be okay. And it just kind of grew from there. You met more kids, and you just made better connections with these friends that were in the same sport with you. So it kind of just grows on you. And to this day, I'm still better friends with the friends that I wrestled with than, say, the friends that I had since I was in grade school. I still keep in contact with them a lot more. And it just has more of a internal connection when you actually wrestle with somebody. It's really hard to kind of, I guess, describe, but the best way to put it is just like that internal connection and just that love of that sport, and it bleeds in with everyone around you.
And I know I've taken quite a bit of your guys' time this afternoon. Obviously, pre-recording here, I know this is playing on Saturday. This is Tuesday afternoon we're talking, but just goals for the team and personally, starting with you, Coach Yagi. What are some of your goals to see how the Gazelles as a team improve in the coming years?
I think one of my biggest goals is probably get more girls to come out, fill that roster up so we have more of those weight classes filled. So when we actually go to duels, we have more of a competitive edge on just at least having the numbers there and stuff, and not having to give up forfeits, which are kind of really disappointing. But you work with the numbers you have and do what you can. So definitely increasing numbers, and then just getting as many of the girls as I can to come out and do off-season stuff, whether we go to camps or have open mat practices in the summertime. Helping a couple of girls maybe get into some freestyle tournaments during the summertime. So just keeping the interest there with everyone, and trying to get more of their friends and stuff to actually join will be really good and stuff too. Just, I guess, biggest thing, numbers really is right now.
And then Winry, I know obviously at the high school level, I assume state championship is the personal goal, but the way you made it sound is wrestling doesn't really have an off season for you. If you do, it's a very short one. So what are some goals for your high school career and then also outside of that?
So goals for my high school career for next year for sure is, again, get into that top 2 spot, and then I want to lose less than 5 matches that year, because this year I lost 6, so next year lose less than 5. And then for the summer, I want to play. Last year I placed at Fargo. I placed 8th, and so this year my goal is to get the 6th spot or higher.
So just and then for people who may not know, you mentioned Fargo. Is that a big national tournament up there?
Fargo is, I believe, do not quote me on this, but I believe it is the biggest wrestling tournament in the world. It brings in over 8,000 people, boys and girls. I'm pretty sure.
Largest competitor.
Largest competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, largest competitor wrestling tournament in the world. It brings in 8,000 people, a little over 8,000 wrestlers a year, and you qualify. You can only qualify by placing at national Fargo freestyle tournaments or getting applaud allowed by with their team, with the South Dakota team SODAC. And so last year I got on that by a whim. I don't know how I did that, but I did, and placing was really high for me. I was very excited.
Well, I wish you luck in that and your out of season competition and in your Gazelle season competition. Just a freshman, so you got plenty of time to keep racking up those accolades. And Coach Yagi, I know wrapping up year 1 as the dedicated coach, you guys performed very well, and I'm excited to see what the future has. Thank you both for coming in and talking today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Big thank you again to both head coach Jason Yagi of the Yankton Gazelles wrestling program and Winry Yagi for coming in earlier this week to talk to me for today's Huddling with the Herd. We're going to go back to break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at when spring sports start. First one starts next week. It's an indoor track and field meet, so we'll talk about that coming up. And we'll also have YHS Nation when we come back. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYNTV.
Getting your business noticed starts with the right print. The other day, a customer came into the UPS store Yankton to pick up blueprints we printed for him. While we finished his order, he mentioned needing business cards. At the UPS store, we handle all your printing needs. Stop in and ask about our current print specials. And that customer? We had his new business cards ready the very next business day. Come explore our small business solutions at the UPS store in Yankton.
Save time and shop online at Hy-Vee. Enjoy the same low prices and great deals online as in store. It's fast and easy. Just shop groceries from our app or online. Choose a pickup or delivery time that fits your schedule. And done. Plus, you can create and save grocery lists, browse weekly deals and coupons, and earn fuel savers. Whatever you need, wherever you are, just one click away. Save time and shop online today at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.
Feeling drained isn't always about sleep or motivation. This is Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. When your body is stiff, tense, or moving poorly, everyday tasks can take more effort than they should. When spinal joints aren't moving well, other areas often compensate. Regular chiropractic care helps improve mobility and reduce tension patterns that keep your body on high alert. Start feeling better with a call to First Chiropractic Centers with offices in Yankton, Hardington, Tyndall, and Wagner, inspiring and empowering others to healthier living.
Practice, meetings, errands, homework. Life doesn't slow down. That's why Yankton Pizza Ranch makes dinner easy. Our buffet is hot, fresh, and ready when you are. Pizza, desserts, and the country's best chicken. When your schedule's packed but you still want something delicious, make it a buffet day at Yankton Pizza Ranch, serving daily from 11 to 8.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
Ever have one of those days? Your car breaks down. Your dog decides your couch is a chew toy. And oh yeah, a tree falls on your roof. Don't worry, Missouri River Associates has you covered. Auto, home, pet mishaps, we're here for all of life's little oops moments. Call 665-6885 for your free quote. Because life happens, and we're ready for it.
At Vision Care Associates, we're always improving our technology for the health of your eyes. With Optomap dilation-free exams, you get a comprehensive view of your retina without the need for dilation eye drops. It's quick, easy, and best of all, it keeps your day interruption-free. Optomap captures a detailed image of your eye, helping to detect any problems. No blurriness, no discomfort, just clear, precise results. Book your Optomap exam now.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYNTV. This is Huddling with the Herd. YHS Nation coming up shortly. We're talking with the YHS band. Scotty Borman got a chance to talk about what they got going on next week. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, opening days for spring sports. Bucks baseball, their first pitch is March 23rd. They'll take on Beersford here at Riverside Field. We'll have coverage of that game, KYNT and KYN-TV. Gazelles softball, March 31st is their first game on the road against Brookings. For track and field, they have an indoor invite. They're going to be the first team competing for spring sports on March 17th. That's next week already. That's at the Ruth Donahoe First Dakota Fieldhouse here in Yankton. Gazelles golf has the longest time before they start things off, and you have to have pretty good weather to be golfing. April 16th at Spring Creek Country Club in Harrisburg, the Gazelles golf team has their first competition. And Bucks tennis starts March 27th at Sioux Park in Rapid City. So one sport starting next week, 3 sports starting the week after, and then Gazelles golf starting in mid-April with their opening invitational at Spring Creek Country Club in Harrisburg. Now it's time for YHS Nation here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Scotty Borman got a chance to talk to Gwen Winish, I believe, for the Yankton High School Band. I know they have a jazz band concert coming up this coming week. So let's go to the interview now here on KYNT, KYN-TV.
This is Scotty Borman for KYNT's YHS Nation, and once again, we're talking band. So we'll first start with our most favorite Yankton High School band director, Gwen Winish. How are you doing today, Gwen?
I'm doing good, but I'm the only high school band director.
See, you catch on quick, Gwen. Yes. My brother was told by his father-in-law that he was his favorite son-in-law, and he only had one daughter. So, you know,
I understand.
Similar situation, yes. And let's see, we've got a couple of things that we can talk about today. One of them is you've got another concert coming up on Monday, right?
We do. We have an outstanding concert coming your way. If you're looking for a diversified program, Monday night's going to be the night. We have our YHS Jazz Band that's going to be there, and they're going to be performing selections and also sharing the stage with our solo and ensemble members that went to contest about a month ago. So we're looking at having, like I said, quite a variety of a performance base going on that night. We've got the jazz kiddos that are going to be doing their thing, and then every now and then you're going to hear a saxophone duet. You're going to hear a clarinet solo. You're going to hear a brass quintet. You're going to hear a saxophone trio. I mean, so just from one end of the spectrum to another, all instrumental music, and they're doing a great job. We're calling it the Big Band Bash and Beyond.
Or you could even, for part of it, you could even say just the sax man. You're right, yeah.
Well, but we got other
Play on words.
Yeah,
I know.
We got other instruments. We can't just do that, you know, because then they get mad, and then I get phone calls and emails, and I just don't like that.
I said for part of it. And if I'm not doing movie quotes and abusing them, you know, I'm not having much fun. So we got a couple of your wonderful musicians here that we get to talk to here as well. We've got Maddox, right? Mm-hmm. So, Maddox, what do you enjoy about being part of the jazz band, and would you recommend it to other students?
What I most like about jazz band is just you get to go to so many places that you don't get to go with just being in band. Like we went to already this season. We went to Mitchell, and we went to Lennox, and those are both really fun experiences that I think anyone who is interested in jazz band should be doing.
Okay, and would you recommend band in general, or the jazz band particularly for other students, maybe coming up from middle school?
I would definitely recommend band as a whole for everyone, because you get to know so many people outside of your own grade, and you just build connections as you go on. And I would really only recommend jazz band for those who are serious about music and are ready to put in dedication and time to it.
Yeah, excellent. And we also have Marcel here. So what do you think about, but first off, are you excited about Monday night's performance?
I am so excited. I'm a little bit nervous, but excitement overweighs the nervousness.
Okay, and I forgot to ask Maddox, and I think I'll go back to you real quick. What instrument or instruments do you play?
Well, in concert band, I play French horn, and in jazz band, I play fourth part trumpet.
Okay, excellent. And how about you, Marcel?
For jazz band, I play guitar, and then for symphonic band, I play French horn.
French horns. Yeah, the goofy twisted horns. Awesome.
And then we both play mellophone for marching band.
Oh, excellent. So what do you like best about band in general and the jazz band in particular?
My favorite thing about band in general is you make such a good, close-knit group of friends through band, and everybody in band always will support each other, and if there's somebody who isn't supportive, then they're not supported by the band. Boom shakalaka. My favorite thing about jazz band, though, is the fact that you can improve your skills so much on your instrument. Like, I've improved on guitar so much just through coming to practices.
Playing jazz is not for the meek.
It's
correct?
No, very much not.
The biggest thing with jazz is you have to be willing to step out of a comfort zone. You know, in concert band music, you have all of the notes, everything there of exactly what they want you to do, maybe with a slight bit of interpretation from the part of the director. Jazz band, there's so much more. It's like almost a completely different language of what they're seeing in their music. They're seeing little U-shaped scoops. They're seeing little trickle down, like little squiggles that mean they're supposed to fall off of that note. They're seeing different articulation, how they're supposed to tongue things or slur things or accent things. It's so detail-oriented, and it's, like I said, it's a different language. And when it comes to their solos, they're all made up on the spot. You don't have a written solo like you would in concert band. They're listening to the chords, they're listening to the foundation that's provided by the people playing the background parts, and they're literally making it up as they go. Like, oh, I think this note would sound good. This is the story I want to tell with my solo. This is how I'm going to do it. And it's just, it's pushing those boundaries that we establish for ourselves and letting them spread their wings a little bit on it. Yeah.
So I'll go back to Maddox. Is jazz band the place where instead of just regurgitating the notes on the written page, you get to explore your artistic part, your artisticness as a musician?
I would say most definitely that's what happens. And it really depends on what people are in jazz band that year, because like this year our piano player had like 4 or 5 solos because she's just amazing at what she does, and it definitely depends on how well you are at just doing whatever you can in the moment and just how good you are at actually playing the instrument.
Okay. And Marcel, do the musicians in the jazz band, do you feed off of each other's energy and performances as well?
100%. If like Miss Wenish is even having a bad day, like everybody is just upset the entire rehearsal and we sound like crap, and yeah. But like everybody has their own part of the music that they add, and so like being a part of rhythm section, I listen back mostly to the piano and the drums to get my rhythms for comping, and
well, they're the base of any song, correct? Yeah.
And it's just really cool because it really is just a sandwich of different instruments that sound good together.
Excellent. And when I came in this afternoon, this is Friday afternoon here at the high school, Gwen, you were on a conference call recruiting some kiddos into marching band. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So we've done the big spiel at the high school and started doing the registration for marching band for the fall of 2026. We need to be starting the numbers and stuff now. We've already spent a lot of time coming up with our show concept. We have that out. We're super excited for that. We're going in a different direction a little bit this year. We have a different drill writer. We have a different music arranger. We have a production designer this year. We haven't had that done either. So we have 3 huge things that are already in the works already for this year. So now we go to the next part of getting the numbers, seeing where we're at. The high school band members, the returning high school band members have already submitted theirs, so we know what we're looking at there. Today we chatted with the 8th graders. Everything is all new to those 8th graders. They don't know what field marching is like. They don't understand how we're supposed to go from one set to another, one shape to another, what that means, what that ownership means of this is my location, this is now my quote-unquote dot. How do I get from this position to that next position? What am I going to do? am I interested in doing this? Is this going to be different than middle school marching band? So we were chatting with them, kind of reassuring them of like, hey, this is an awesome opportunity. We really want them to be on track with us here, jump into this new marching program that we have coming at us this coming fall, and get them fired up and get the numbers there. So.
All right. And I know your drum majors and everything that were with you on that were talking about how much fun it is, how different it is for middle school marching band. I am disappointed that the most important point was not made, where you making sure they tie their shoes before they're going out there for marching.
Yes.
But
yes,
they made some good points about how much fun it is and how much different it is than just marching on the line. So.
Yeah, and, in middle school, they're focusing on marching in a line. They're focusing on doing some additional visual flares to keep the intensity of that street performance there. But here we have the entire football field to work with, so we have different expectations that are happening on our level. We're looking at not just simply marching straight. You
get to do all those fun shapes that we see on the football field.
And the sharp, crisp turns, and the different body angles, the different manipulations of horn swaggers and stuff that we add to the show to keep it interesting. So many different things. It's a completely different concept. And if kids are in question on it, we want them to at least give it a shot, because most of the people that are like, I'm not going to go out for my freshman year, then they come out their sophomore year, they're like, oh my God, I regret that they didn't come out sooner. So come out, experience it, and then make a decision off of what you know rather than what you think you know.
My favorite all-time marching band is, like, next level. It's actually known as the Commandant Zone, the Marine Corps Drum Marine Corps Drum and Bugle Corps is awesome. I've seen them in person.
Yep, we have too.
Yeah. They're and the Marine Corps Band, which is also, that's known as the President's Zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have a relative that used to be in that.
Oh, super cool.
So, one of my mom's cousins. So, it's really cool when you got people at that high of a level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I almost forgot. Why don't you give us the details on when and where Monday's performance for anybody that's interested?
Okay, concert is Monday night. That would be March 16th. And it's going to be at 7 p.m. in the YHS Theater here. Admission is free. So come on in, have an amazing night with us. We're looking forward to spending the hour with you and making some amazing music and showcasing the talent of the YHS band kids.
Yeah, excellent. We always like doing that, don't we?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Maddox and Marcel.
Yes. Thank you.
This is Scotty Borman for YHS Nation.
Big thank you to Scotty Borman and for YHS Nation. Talking to Gwen Winnish of the Yankton High School Band is, funny enough, Scotty Borman just walked into the office. Hi, Scotty. But a YHS Band there on YHS Nation, talking to Gwen Winnish and a couple of band kids for YHS Nation today. At a jazz band concert coming up Monday night at Yankton High School. Be sure to get out there and support Yankton and everything they do. And I'd be remiss if I did not mention one more time, 6:30 p.m. tonight, KYNT and KYN-TV, 7 p.m. pregame. Yankton Bucks hockey, a state title is on the line against the undefeated number 1 seeded Rushmore Thunder. It's going to be a fun night from the Shields Iceplex up in Sioux Falls. I'll be up there along with Dave Spencer on the call for that one. That's going to wrap us up here for Huddling with the Herd. Thank you for joining us on KYNT and KYN-TV. This has been presented by Explorers Credit Union. Discover the difference with them at explorerscu.com. Until next week here for Huddling with the Herd, stay safe, be good people. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you tonight from the Shields Iceplex in Sioux Falls.